All right, welcome everybody to my Thyroid Mystery webinar. So I'm going to share with you some great information over here in the next few minutes. Before we do that, I'm going to give you my disclaimer, and that is I'm not a medical doctor. I cannot advise you to take your drugs or not take your drugs. The information that I'm giving you is for gee whiz purposes, and I'm not here to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease. Now, that being said, what I am here to do is present you with this information. And what I'm hoping is that what I say to you actually makes sense, that you end up making an appointment and see whether that's here in the office or via Skype. We can manage that both ways, because I want to see if I can help you. So I'll give you a little personal background about me. This is not an anti-medicine webinar at all. This is me on the left in 2009. I had testicular cancer, and this was my last day of chemotherapy. Modern medicine did save my life and made it possible for this little cutie over here on the left. She was born, and her little brother, whose hand you can see right there. These two were actually born after that experience happened. So, and I just put these in here because these guys are just dang cute. So, anyway, on with this. What are the common thyroid symptoms? You know what these are. They're fatigue, anxiety, depression, weight gain, sleep problems, just general pain, brain fog, hair loss, just overall just feeling like crap. This is a message that I got on Facebook not too long ago. It says I just had my blood tested because I haven't been feeling good, very weak, losing hair, lethargic, hard time concentrating, blah, 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 blah. This all sounds familiar to you, I know. The doctor office calls and tells her that things look great, and we're going to call you in a prescription that will last you a year. Grr, I don't understand what's happening. I'm so overspending money to tell me what they don't know. So this is what I want to address right here. I'm going to tell you what they don't know on this webinar, and hopefully you can do something about it. So basically, let's just get into basic thyroid metabolism. What the heck is your thyroid? Well, your thyroid is this little hormone gland that sits right here at your neck, and it's responsible for secreting different types of hormones. It's responsible for secreting hormones that are absolutely vital to metabolism and cellular function. Now, the medical standard for treating the thyroid is this. You have a symptom, so you show up with the doctor, and the doctor runs a blood test called TSH. Some of them check T4, some of them check T3. But whatever that blood test tells them, they just adjust the medication according to the blood test. And then if that doesn't work, they just tell you what's in your head, or they give you some other medication to help you deal with the other symptoms and just kind of shove you along and move you on the way. And unfortunately, that's the stuff that insurance, etc., is actually going to cover, and it's frankly not very effective for most of you. And the reason why comes down to the difference between glandular and cellular hypothyroidism, for one, and number two, the blood tests that they use. While the blood tests are good, they don't look at them within functional ranges. They look at them in these big, wide lab ranges, which are too wide and don't really catch the problem before it becomes a problem. So that's the issue with insurance. They don't pay outside of measuring TSH and giving you medication according to that. So I'm going to show you some different things that you can do here today. So let's talk about some basic thyroid metabolism. It actually starts up here in your brain. Your brain has an area of your brain called your hypothalamus and your pituitary gland. These things work in concert to measure the hormone and chemical levels in your blood and adjust them accordingly. And in this case, your pituitary gland actually secretes TSH that we just talked about. And the TSH is going to come down here to your thyroid and cause your thyroid to release both T4 and T3. But what's interesting here is that T4 has to be converted into T3 in order for metabolism to actually happen. So what does that mean? Well, what that means, so going back, I mentioned glandular hypothyroidism. So that basically means if the problem is in the gland, then it's glandular hypothyroidism, and Synthroid and the other medications should take care of that. So if you have glandular hypothyroidism, chances are you are not watching this webinar because those are the ones the medication is effective for. When we start talking about cellular hypothyroidism, that's when we get into the gut, the liver, and all these other things we're about to talk about. So conversion of T4 to T3 is absolutely vital. T4, this conversion is going to happen, 60% of that's going to happen in the liver. 20% of it will happen in the gut, 20% of it will happen at the peripheral tissue. Now, I bring this up because if you have issues with blood sugar or your adrenals here, you're going to have hypothyroidism symptoms. If you have problems with your gut and you're not converting, you're going to have hypothyroidism. All of these issues in these areas can cause thyroid symptoms, and your lab tests come back looking nice and normal. So The liver, what is it? Well, it's a great filter. Your liver takes all the junk out of your blood and packages it and gets rid of it through different pathways, but it helps literally just detoxify your blood. And so if you pack it full of toxins, if you have abnormal stress, abnormal body pH, if you drink too much, medication, undigested proteins, and even food sensitivities and infections can cause the liver to get sluggish. And when that happens, you don't convert thyroid hormones at all. Well, detoxifying your liver frees up the ability to convert those hormones. And this guy here, which sits up here at the right part of your abdomen, this guy can cause hypothyroid symptoms to happen, and it is obviously not your thyroid. So next thing is going to be your gut. When I'm talking about your gut, I'm actually talking about the opening for your mouth all the way through your anus. Your gut compromises of enzymes that help you break down your food, acid to help you break down your food and get the nutrition out of your food. But the issue at hand being most of the patients that I see are dealing with some sort of leaky gut syndrome where their small intestine is no longer filtering things appropriately and allowing things to leak through. We deal with anemias, which aren't always iron deficiencies, but B12 deficiency or B12 anemias can happen because of gut issues. There's underlying infections, underlying food sensitivities, all leading to malabsorption. Now, I know it's interesting for me to say, why malabsorption when all of us are overweight? Well, we're overweight because we're not absorbing nutrients, therefore our bodies are in starvation states. Plus, all of these things that I was talking about are affecting normal thyroid metabolism. None of this you can see just by looking at TSH, T4, and T3. So I'm hoping you're starting to see the light here, that there's a lot more to this story than just the thyroid. I didn't touch on the autoimmunity part. Let me touch this real fast. Autoimmunity is basically when your immune system turns against you and attacks you. That is an issue with most people who have thyroid issues. That's where the goiter, not the goiter, that's from an iodine deficiency. I'm not even going to talk about that today because I don't think it's worth it. Because trust me, you're getting plenty of iodine if you live in America. Autoimmunity means your immune system is attacking the thyroid, and the thyroid is actually, you're getting cysts and nodules, etc., because of the scar tissue that's building up from your immune system attacking it. And a lot of that is happening because of the disruption that's happening here in your gut. So taking care of your gut is absolutely crucial when it comes to dealing with these thyroid issues. Last but not least, that I'm going to talk about is your adrenal glands. Our adrenal glands are constantly under stress because of the crappy food that we eat, because of underlying infections. They help you modulate your sleep cycles, they help you modulate your blood sugars, but the problem is when your adrenal glands are either fatiguing or failing, it looks exactly like thyroid symptoms, and everybody's so busy looking at the thyroid that they fail to realize that, hey, there may be an underlying adrenal issue here. So the key to that is cleaning up the gut, because that's where most of that stress is going to come from, and we'll talk a little bit about how to do that. So what do you do about it? Well, number one is proper lab testing. If you look at the labs you have now, I guarantee you not enough has been done. And there's more tests when you look at food sensitivity tests, when you look at inflammation markers, all of these things to kind of help you address the area we're at. I'm a big proponent of the paleo diet. Now, I've given you a digital copy of my health handbook that is now yours. You should have gotten that when you registered. If you didn't, let me know. If you want a hard copy of that, let me know. This is huge because it takes away all those food sensitivity possibilities, allows your body to heal, and then proper supplementation. You'll find that health handbook talks a lot about enzymes, which are a pretty good shotgun approach, but some people do need very, very specific supplementation. That's where we come in. That's how we can help you actually just personalize this just for you. So I've given you enough information today that you could take this, go out on your own, and actually start to take care of yourself. But as I said, if what I've said makes sense to you, I'm going to urge you to make an appointment. Now, there is a button down at the bottom of the page that says make an appointment. This is the time to click that appointment, because if you make that appointment now, my staff will reach out to you very soon. And if you make that within the next 30 minutes, you're going to get a case review with me for $49, meaning we'll either sit down here in the office or we'll sit down via Skype. We'll go through your blood work, and I can make recommendations based on your history and your blood work, and we can get you going in the right direction. So that's my pitch to you. This is not going to last forever. $49, my staff thinks I'm crazy, but if you make that appointment, we will take a look at your information and see how far we can help you and what we can do about this whole thing. So guys, I appreciate you being on this webinar. I look forward to serving you as I can, and please let me know if there's other subjects that you'd like me to cover. Thanks a lot. Talk soon.